Track 45. You will hear a tour guide talking to some tourists. Listen and answer questions 1 to 6.
Hello, everyone. So, can you all hear me and see me? Okay. My name's David Edwards, and I'm your tour leader for your shopping tour today. Now, as you can see, we're parked just in front of the main theater. If any of you would like tickets for tonight's performance, we can arrange that for you. We're just round the corner from the railway station. If you want to come on our historic buildings tour tomorrow, the coach will leave from just outside the station. And if you want to go for a drink at the end of our tour today, there are plenty of cafes just behind the station. We're still waiting for a few people, but while we wait, I can tell you a little about the theater. Although the building is very modern, in fact, a theater has existed on this site for over 200 years. The original theater used to be very popular because of the musicals it put on. However, it had to be rebuilt after a fire. Some people love the striking modern design, others hate it. These days, its popularity is mainly due to the fact that it attracts a lot of well-known performers. Now, in a few minutes' time, at 9:30, we'll be starting our tour. First, we're going to make our way down to Marketplace, which is one of the most famous squares in the city. That should take us about 10 minutes. There's not too much traffic on the roads, so we should get there at 9:45 at the latest. Marketplace was the city's old food market. People used to come in from the countryside to sell their fresh fruit and vegetables. Remember that these were the days before supermarkets. You won't find any food here now, though. It's now a craft market, and I think you'll find lots to interest you, especially if you want to take presents home. You'll see all kinds of things like hand-painted local pottery and leather goods. Personally, I suggest that you visit the jewelry stalls. You really won't find anything like it anywhere else. But if you're looking for clothes, I'm afraid you'll be disappointed. Wait for this afternoon's visit. We'll stop at Marketplace for an hour and a half and then continue the tour with a visit to the Regional Food Center. Here you can find over 50 types of local cheeses. There is also fresh fruit juice on sale. Orange juice, peach juice, pomegranate juice, produced in the villages of the region, and local jam, too. You're welcome to buy things to take home with you, but the real reason for our visit is lunch. The idea is that you buy food and drink from the stalls and take it to eat in the lovely open-air dining area. And finally, in the afternoon, we will be visiting the fashion fair in the exhibition center on the outskirts of the city. This is a huge venue, so try not to get lost. There is a whole hall devoted just to footwear. Every kind of shoes and boots you can imagine. You can easily find it because it has a green roof. Just don't go through the blue doors at the entrance of the center. You have to pay for that part of the exhibition. And if all that shopping has exhausted you, there's a cafe where you can rest your weary feet. That's in the building with a red sign. But don't worry, I'll remind you all about that later. Right. Everyone's here now, so if you've all got your shopping bags, let's go!
Track 53.
Good morning. I'd like to thank the Council for agreeing to this meeting and for welcoming us here today to explain to you our plans for Pinewood Centre. Our aim is to make Pine Woods a place where people of all ages can come and enjoy their free time. The centre will feature our Treetops Challenge, only for the brave and fearless. For the less brave, and for families with children, there will be adventure playgrounds, indoor and outdoor, and a feeding area for farm animals, and we will also offer cycle trails through the woods. I'll give you an overview of Pine Woods first, and then tell you more about each area in more detail. This first slide shows the overall layout of the centre and where all the activities will be situated. As you can see from the map, the entrance to this attraction will be on the south side. As visitors enter from the car park, they will walk along this path, leading them to the cafe and gift shop. The gift shop will be where tickets are on sale and therefore needs to be near the entrance. So this building here on the right will be the cafe, and the building on the left will be the gift shop. There will also be a picnic field behind the cafe for the warmer months. It's the area just to the right of the cafe as you look at the map. And in the bottom right-hand corner of the picnic field, we're planning to have a barbecue area where people can hire a barbecue and bring their own food to cook. It'll be great for parties. In summer, we plan to have bands performing here in the evenings. To the west of the gift shop is where the Treetops Challenge will take place. There's a path here winding through the forest, and up in the trees there will be all sorts of high-level adventure apparatus, rope swings, awesome rope bridges and tunnels, and zip wires where you can fly way above the forest floor. This adventure experience will only be open to those aged 15 and over. Beyond the Treetops Challenge, there will be an adventure playground. To get to it, you go along this path from the entrance until you reach the crossroads. Then you turn left. The young children's playground will have a fence around it, making it safer and keeping them away from the lake. The indoor play area, only for the very young, will be on the east side of the farm, near the cafe and just inside the picnic area. And finally, let's turn our attention back to this area here, where the paths meet and form a crossroads. This path, leading to the east end of the farm, will take our visitors to the area which houses the farm animals. Children will be able to watch the animals being fed and cared for, and in some instances they will be able to feed the animals themselves. The sheep will be in this first area on the right here, directly opposite the pigs, and the goats will go at the very end there. We haven't quite decided on the other areas yet. So, those are our plans. We hope they will be approved, and we look forward to welcoming you back in the not-too-distant future to see the final result.
Track 63.
So, welcome to Filmmakers Club. I hope you're excited at the thought of making a film and that you're bursting with great ideas. I've put you all into groups, so here's what you're going to do. Now, you might think the first thing that you need to do is to come up with an idea for a story, but even before that, you need to think about what type of film you want to make. Remember that a film is really a story in pictures. There are lots of ways of telling a story, so choose a style of film that suits the talents of the group. If you have talented artists, but no good writers or actors, you might want to make your film in the style of a cartoon or some other kind of animation. Last year, a group made an excellent film using Lego bricks. So, having decided that, you can start to think of your idea for the story. Think about the movies you like to watch. What is it that makes them interesting? Is it the characters? The plot? As regards plot, my advice is don't be too ambitious. Don't make it complicated. Keep it simple. The simplest ideas are often the ones that work the best. Initially, you just need to find the basic concept. You can fill in the details later. It's a good idea to keep a notebook in your pocket and carry it everywhere. You never know when a great idea will suddenly come to you, and the more ideas the better, in my opinion. The next stage is to write the screenplay. For this, you need to divide the story up into a series of scenes. For each scene, the screenplay should begin with a short description of where it takes place and the time of day, that is, day or night. Then the rest consists of the script, the lines the actors will speak, and it should also describe the camera movements and give directions to the actors about how they should move. Before you can start filming, you need to prepare a storyboard of your film to help everyone involved to imagine the scenes clearly and to understand what you are trying to achieve. This is similar to a comic book version of your film, but without speech balloons. And at this point, you need to appoint a director. This is a major role, and it's vital that he or she is a good communicator, as they are the key link between the actors and the rest of the team. This person will have responsibility for the creative side of the project. He or she will have the final say in the choice of the main actors and in directing the action of the film. That brings me to the next stage, casting your film, finding the actors. Don't just rely on your friends. Be creative. Perhaps you could advertise on social media. Or if your film needs a doctor, perhaps you could ask one from the local hospital if they could spare a couple of hours for you. And then, before filming finally starts, you will need to assign other jobs, such as director of photography. In your case, this will be the person who operates the camera, someone in charge of sound and music, and someone in charge of costumes and props, including furniture and any other objects needed. And also someone to look after hair and makeup. But we'll look at these roles in more detail in our next session.
Track 68.
Good morning, everyone. In today's lecture, I want to talk to you about a very unpopular animal here in Britain. In fact, you could say that it's one of our least loved animals. It's called the American bullfrog. And yes, it does in fact come from America, the east of America to be exact. And it was brought to Britain in the early 19th century. So you could say that it's been here for quite a long time. It wasn't brought here on purpose. It actually arrived in a big container of aquatic plants. In other words, it was accidentally introduced into Britain. Now, I'll tell you a little about its appearance. The American bullfrog is a very large and ugly species of frog. And when I say it's large, I mean large. Interestingly, female American bullfrogs are usually much larger than the males. In fact, they can weigh up to 750 grams, whereas the males only go up to about 600 grams. Take a look at its head. It's really broad and flat, isn't it? And you can see its mouth just here. That's quite large too. Now, both the male and the female American bullfrogs have green or brown bodies and have dark spots on the top. But there's one important difference between them. The male's throat is yellow, but the female has a white one instead. And the other difference is their eardrums, here, just behind their eyes. Those of the male are much larger than the female's. So let's move on to why we so dislike the American bullfrog. Well, this is because it has threatened our own native species of frogs. Firstly, it breeds very quickly indeed. For example, female bullfrogs can lay up to 25,000 eggs every single season. And secondly, the American bullfrog is very greedy. In fact, they eat just about anything they can put into their mouths. As well as other frogs, they eat insects, fish, and have even been known to eat birds and snakes. So, in other words, they eat the food sources of our own native species. Thirdly, they carry a disease that is dangerous to other frogs. And finally, they don't just damage our natural world, they cause financial damage too. Around £100,000 has been spent monitoring the American bullfrog in the wild. So, as scientists, we can learn a lesson from this about the dangers of introducing any living species into a new environment.